That's what they say when we're together. And watch how you play. They don't understand. And so we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. And then you put your arms around me and we tumble to the ground. And then you say, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. Look at the way we gotta hide what we're doing. 'Cause what would they say if they ever knew? And so we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. And then you put your arms around me and we tumble to the ground. And then you say, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now.
Is afraid she hates the morning. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of I'm No Joke, your home for all things combat sports and the place where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bronco. The views and opinions presented on the I'm No Joke channel belong solely to the person expressing them, no one else. If we say it, that means we meant it. That being said, this show does contain adult themes, adult content, and general shit that you shouldn't be letting your kids intake. Be advised, viewer discretion is recommended. Proceed at your own risk. You've been warned. It's Sunday. I've got whiskey, and who the fuck is that guy? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to the latest episode of the, what did I say show? The show where we hold ourselves from the I'm No Joe podcast accountable and bring you lovely folks a recap of all the craziness that unfolded in this weekend of combat sports. Now, on my way to the broadcast booth this fine evening, I did stumble upon this fine young man who just so happened to have said that he's seen some of them punchy-kicky events at Crackdown yesterday and wanted to hop on along and talk about them with me, so I figured, hell, I'd give him a shot. So how the hell you doing this evening, fella?
Dude, I got fucking alcohol. So that makes you want to die a little bit less. So I'm doing pretty fucking good, man. Fucking cheers to you.
Nice imbibing Sunday evening. So,
hell yeah.
Oh, for those of you who may have missed out, yesterday was one of the single busiest days of combat sports we have had of 2022 so far. And as far as just sheer number of matches that took place, I think Saturday might be the record until way later on in the year when there's a proposed like quadruple event going to unfold all on the same Saturday. But we had, just to run them down real quick, we had UFC started at 3 p.m. in Vegas, which never makes any fucking sense to me. We had Bellator, which started at 6 p.m. We had BKFC that started at 8 p.m. And then at the very tail end, that almost got no publicity because of the other three, Amir Khan boxed Saturday night, which didn't start till I think 10:30 p.m. Central Time. It was so fucking late, and by the time I even realized it was a thing, it had already come and gone, and just that was horrible promotion. But there was lots to be had in the world of punchy kicky over this fine weekend. So we're gonna kind of work it backwards here. Amir Khan did what Amir Khan does. You kind of expected that. I'm not going into a whole lot of detail on that because I didn't even honestly realize that was taking place until Saturday night once it was already over. So we can let our other fine folks in the journalism world cover that one. So we'll jump from there back to Bellator. Bellator basically sucked out loud with the exception of 1, 2, 3 fights.
That's why nobody watches Bellator, because they're hopped up, fucking juiced out of their fucking gills. Yeah. That's why nobody fucking watches them.
So, little honorable mention real quick here. I've seen a lot of pushback to this opinion from MMA journalists in recent weeks leading up to this card, and I called bullshit the whole way through, and I stand by my opinion now that I have been proven correct. Justine Kish belongs in Bellator. She is not UFC level. She was not UFC level. I don't know, honestly, if she has potential to really genuinely be UFC level, but she's competitive with the girls over in Bellator. And the fights look a lot better than when she was getting ragdolled in the UFC. That's not to say they look good, but they look a lot more competitive, a lot less one-sided, if you will. That being said, though, that fight actually led us into the fight that literally had me giggling like a little kid. One of the few fights on this Bellator card that literally had me howling at the outcome. Bobby King versus Aviv Gazzali. For those of you who do not know, Aviv Gazzali is basically the Israeli version of Ryan Hall competing in Bellator. He is a leg lock specialist with Imanari rolls on his record, so he's known to go to them. I believe every one of his 6 finishes, or his 6 fights on his win side, 6 fights in his win column. Words are hard live sometimes. All 6 of his win column fights were by submission, and I believe they were all in the first round as well. So you knew exactly what he was going to do coming in there. There's no secret to his game. And Bobby King was like, cool, have you met my right hand? Because fuck you and your submissions. Cleverly, intelligently stepped out of several different leg lock attempts that Gazzali threw at him and just fucking waylaid him every time he tried to submit him. And he, to his credit, he tried a bunch of different ways, but every time he tried something, Bobby King made him pay for it from a different angle, caught him with elbows, hit him with some hard fucking shots when he was rolled up in the fucking submission attempts, and eventually hit him so fucking bad that. So here's the controversial part about this fight. They go to start the next round. Go to start round 2. He wobbled back to his stool after round 1. They go to start round 2, and the doctor or the referee stops, calls a timeout before starting round 2, calls the doctor into check because he got fucking walloped on at the end of round 1, real fucking bad. Doctor comes in to check on him. Aviv Gazzali pretends that he doesn't speak English, that he doesn't understand the doctor. Now, anyone watching this fight knew in a split second exactly what he was doing and why he was doing it. Everyone watching this was like, he's still fucking rocked. He's about to play this up, get himself a minute or 2 of time to recover, get his bearings back, and then be like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally cool. Sorry, I was just really in the zone, or whatever fucking excuse he was going to make, and then get back after it after getting free time. Big John McCarthy, bless his heart. As soon as Aviv Gazzali starts playing the I don't speak English angle, and the referee calls in his father from his corner to translate, John McCarthy, live on the broadcast, says, what the hell is he doing? Aviv speaks English. Morrow goes, it seems like he's indicating that he doesn't speak English. John, live on the show, on the broadcast, goes flat out, oh no, that's a lie. They both speak English. They both speak fluent English. I don't know what's happening right now.
Fucking Big John.
Like, they cut over there. Morrow is staring daggers at Big John. Like, I can't believe those words came out of your mouth. What are you doing? Like, shut up, John. Like,
dude, if I win this, I'll throw you a solid G or 2. Come on.
General principle. Everyone knows what's happening. Like, he's hamming it up a little bit. Like, let the man have his moment. If you want to call him out for it after the fact, by all means do so. Don't say it that loud while it's happening. Oh my God. It was something else. It genuinely was. And inevitably, this is not happening. They end up calling it. Sorry, got to get this clown out of the chat real quick. There you go. Okay. No, they end up calling it. Excuse me. You could tell the whole time what was going down. Yeah, Aviv Gazzali got his ass handed to him quite thoroughly, and he tried to play it up, tried to take advantage, just wasn't working though. So, A for effort, but no, didn't work out so well. Jump down later in the card here. The people's co-main event was interesting. I did not see Piccolotti versus Karakasian going to decision. And once it got there, I honestly, it might have been recency biased, but I thought Karakasian did enough to take it. He was landing bigger shots. He was landing cleaner shots, but Piccolotti was countering the shit out of him. So I can understand how they gave it to Piccolotti. Decent fight overall. But that fucking co-main event, this was going on while BKFC was going on. So I actually posted a picture on our group chat. I think I posted a picture on Instagram as well. I had BKFC going on one of my monitors and I had Bellator going on the other monitor.
Yeah.
And while we were actively talking about what was happening on BKFC in our group chat, I watched Andrei Koreshkov spin of death, Chance Recon Tour. I watched that finish happen and then typed in the group chat. I think I just saw Andrei Koreshkov kick a man to death. I think he kicked that man's ribs into next week. And then I posted a quick little snippet of the actual replay. Well, excuse me. He spinning back kicked Chance directly in the ribs, right under the arm. Crystal clear, as clean as you can ask for that. Giga-esque, I even said. And then we got the report about 2 hours ago, I think it was, maybe 3 hours ago. Chance is absolutely in the hospital still. That spinning heel kick broke 5 ribs and punctured his lung. That's a bad fucking spinning wheel kick. And it didn't even land as clean as it could have. It was thrown perfectly, but because they were moving, it almost glanced off, but landed enough of an impact into the ribs. If it had been thrown a split second sooner, it would have hit sternum more than ribs, and that would have done serious fucking damage. But 5 broken ribs and a punctured fucking lung from a spinning heel kick. Andrei Koreshkov is a bad motherfucker, man. That was just fucking beautiful. In terms of the main event over there, I was honestly a little disappointed. Neiman Gracie and Logan Storley, I thought was going to be a little more contested on the ground. Instead, it ended up actually being primarily a stand-up battle. And if we're being honest here, this is kind of how a lot of the MMA journalists that covered this card prior to Saturday said that it was likely going to go. Logan Storley was smart, even though he has a credentialed wrestling pedigree himself. He was going to keep it on the feet because as awesome as Neiman Gracie is on the ground, none of the Gracies are particularly dangerous on their feet. There are some capable Gracies, clearly, but none of them are necessarily dangerous on their feet, except Brian Ortega, but he's not officially a Gracie. Wink. Yeah. Look at a picture of Ortega and look at a picture of Neiman Gracie side by side and tell me they're not cousins. But that's a topic for another day. But no, Logan Storley earned that decision against Neiman. Neiman knew it at the end of the fight. So average Bellator card, I guess you could say, par for the course for that.
Man, I really think that Gracie would do much better if he would transition over to the UFC, to where he'd really let his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu shine with the likes of the weight class of the rest of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and even stand-up practitioners. I think he would really shine and flourish. But
I agree, but at the same time, like the UFC is not going to pick you up coming off of a fucking pair of losses in a row. You know what I mean?
I mean, they've also picked up just horse shit out of the Contender Series. So
Right. Which actually, that would probably be the smartest thing for him to do right now, realistically. Like, fight your last fight on your fucking Bellator contract, go free agent, ask Dana for a shot at the Contender Series. Don't try and just talk your way into a fucking contract with the UFC because you're Gracie. Be like, hey, let me earn it. Let me fucking work my way and put me on that fucking soup can series. Throw some delivery guy at me and let me fucking buggy choke him and give you a great highlight for your show. And then you can give me the contract and we'll see where we go from there. I could be down with that.
Or even let me do it 3 times and let me do the same exact choke every single time and show you. Like,
right, yeah. Let me
get one knockout.
Anyone out, yeah.
Let me get 1 knockout, 2 chokes. A knockout or a choke, a knockout, a choke. Let me show you that I'm kind of capable everywhere around, Yeah,
I could see that. That would probably be the smartest move he could make if he wanted to get in there. Otherwise,
I just
get off the pot at Bellator, man.
I just want to see Gracie back in the UFC. That's all I want to see.
I agree, and not to shit on Logan Sorley because he is 13-1 for a fucking reason.
Oh fuck yeah!
But I don't really know if this is. I think this is one of those where we say it's a victory you don't really want to brag about. I guess is the best way to describe it. Like, yeah, you won, but you outstruck a Gracie. That's like saying you beat a fencer at soccer.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like
but
you
doesn't
brag,
really mean as much as you think it means.
You brag about submitting a Gracie or even a Gracie student.
Right.
You brag about that, or even a 10th Planet student. You brag about that shit.
Absolutely.
You don't brag about fucking knocking them out on the feet because most of those motherfuckers aren't known for hands. I'm a Gracie student. Fucking fresh out of Ohio. I'm a Gracie student. Do they do any drills on the feet? No, not really. They show you how to back a motherfucker against the fence, and that's about it. How to do some grappling.
Galti's talked about it too. Galti has trained with several of the Gracies on different occasions, and he's very open about it as well. Like, they are dangerous in their jiu-jitsu practice for good fucking reason, but they generally don't have much interest in the striking game.
They'll teach you the ins and outs out of grappling off the fence and putting somebody to the fence. They'll show you that stuff to a T, like it's a fucking science, and they'll beat it into your brain until like, head position, pummel, underhook. Got it. They'll do that for 30 fucking days.
Right.
But like you trying to get any footwork, it's not them. That's not them, Chief. That's why I have like 3 gyms.
Right. Well, that's why Edmund Tavarian isn't known as a striking coach.
Bingo. Fucking nail on the head right there.
But from there, we'll go backwards over to the BKFC event, Knuckle Mania 2, real quick, and recap that before we ice it out with the UFC event. I'm gonna be honest here. Knuckle Mania 1 was a lot more fun than Knuckle Mania 2 was. Knuckle Mania 2 wasn't the worst card they have put on in BKFC by a long shot, but it wasn't what Knuckle Mania 1 was, and it definitely didn't help their case that in the last week they, despite still keeping the posters saying that it was headlined by Mike Perry versus Julian Lane, last minute added Luis Palomino versus Martin Brown for the 155-pound belt defense as the actual main event of the fight. Throwing shit like that in, especially at the last minute, and then throwing it over what you promoted the card with, bad look on top of everything else. That being said, most of the prelims on that, nobody's going to have any idea who the fuck any of those guys were. Not the worst fights, not the greatest. Once you get to the main card, look, Yuli Diaz, he's not the best, he's not the worst, but they threw him a fucking pizza delivery, dude. Of course he's gonna knock that guy out. Jake Bostwick is a fucking can. Francesco Ricci is not a world breaker by any stretch of the imagination, but all he had to do was stand back and let Bostwick throw those giant sweeping wide shots and then counter the shit out of him. And Bostwick's face showed it at the end of that fucking fight. It was no goddamn surprise at all. I will say I was a little surprised that the OnlyFans chick got her fucking entire mug split open. She got cracked. Wong got cracked with a shot that split from like the middle of her forehead between her eyes all the way down towards her fucking like the side of her nostril. Like it was a good 3-inch, 4-inch fucking split that just started streaming blood down her goddamn face. They called the doctor to check it out. The doctor calls her over, looks at it, wipes the blood off to see where the actual cut is, says, "Oh no, she's fine." Turns around, they go back at it, come out for the next round, or get ready to come out for the next round. The doctor's like, "Oh, that cut's way too bad now. You can't go back out." She didn't get in that cut in the time that she was back out there.
Yeah. I saw some of the BKFC fights. I saw that bit. That was a sham. Oh yeah, dude, she's good. You're not much of a fucking doctor, are you? You passed with a 76.
Yeah.
To get your fucking PhD, buddy.
Yeah, that cage side physician was a fucking bad joke at best. I will say though, after that nightmare of a fucking fight, one of the few fights on the card that were legitimately worth actually tuning into, Stephen Townsel versus Gustavo Trujillo. I've been screaming about Gustavo Trujillo for a hot minute now. I was surprised but very excited to see when they brought him onto the Triller card, the Triller Triad Combat card, where they had MMA versus boxing, and he beat the shit out of some fucking boxers, as did most of the MMA guys when you let them put shoes and gloves on. But he came out, was he just doing fucking work in there. Minute 41 is all it took, and he just fucking flatlined that fucking dude. Knocked him out onto the referee's feet. When he dropped, that dude literally passed out on the referee's feet, and the referee had to jump backwards with his toes, pulling out from underneath Townsel as he hit the fucking canvas. That motherfucker is bad, dude. Gustavo Trujillo has got a future in legitimate MMA, boxing, like wherever he wants to fucking go. He's fucking dangerous, man. He's a good sized dude. He's got long reach. He's got great fucking hands.
It's like my favorite thing that I've been making fun of for like a couple of friends that I work with that are big into boxing and MMA that were talking to me about this. My favorite thing that I've been bringing up is No Time for Tears, because a minute 40 seconds, you don't really realize what the fuck happened whenever you got knocked the fuck out. You really don't have time for tears, because Townsel has that proudly across his chest right here. No time for tears. Minute 40 seconds, man. You don't realize what the fuck happened to cry.
Yeah, you ain't got time to cry about that one, son. You got slapped. Like, and not just like, ooh.
Oh, that was a double take fucking rewind real quick.
Yeah.
Let me hit the button twice. Let me rewatch this shit.
It was one of those when they show the replay on the broadcast, you hear the audience go, ooh, collectively, as they show the slow motion of him bouncing off the referee's feet. Gustavo just fucked him up, dude. Like, Trujillo is a big time fucking prospect in whatever sport he decides to go to, whether he stays in BKFC or he comes over to MMA or he decides to go full on boxing. That kid is a problem for anybody they put in front of him. Ladies, 125 inaugural BKFC belt was on the line. Britain Hart versus Christine Faria, the rematch from 3 years ago. Close fight, man. Close fight. Numbers wise, Britain Hart actually had, I think they said like 45 or 50 more strikes landed overall, but the significant strikes were clearly in favor of Faria, and not only just on the numbers, but you could see it on Britain Hart's face, literally. Her right eye was almost completely swollen shut, and her left eye had like 4 cuts all the way around it, like they were patchworking a doll together, one piece at a time. She was definitely fucking wearing it. There was no fucking quit in her. She never slowed down. She never fucking stopped. She never took a step back. She stayed right in there and through till the last bell. Credit where credit's due. But I think this is one of those situations where 8 out of 10 times, 7 out of 10 times, Faria gets the best of those exchanges. If they fought 10 times, Faria probably wins 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 times. Now, those 2 or 3 out of 10 times that Britain Hart wins, she's going to fucking drop Faria and do real bad on her. But we've now seen 2 in a row where the first time they actually stopped the fight. It was a questionable stoppage, but then the second time we got a full 5 rounds and it was pretty fucking definitive. Props to Faria, man. I'm not a fan of her. I'm not a fan of her style. I'm not a fan of her shit talk, but you can't dispute that she won that fucking belt last night. So good on her.
You can't dispute W's.
Yep. No, she absolutely did. She took it. So good on you, Faria. I'm pretty sure they're gonna basically stick Britain Hart as the title shot gatekeeper at this point. With 2 losses to the now champ, it's gonna take a lot to get another title shot. Well, at least it should take a lot to get another title shot against her. But that being said, there really isn't any other prospects in that division to get the title shot right now. So now they get to the point where they get to make some fun matchups for Britain Hart again, and Faria can go back to sitting on the shelf and talking shit for a while because there's nobody that she needs to fight for anytime soon. So we'll see how they matchmake going forward. There's still some interesting ladies in that division. But after that was over, the circus tent unfolded for sure. For those of you who do not know, even Chad Mendes himself said in the press conference that I have never been known as a boxer. I have been a wrestler my entire life, but I have 15 years of MMA striking experience and have been working exclusively on boxing since I signed with BKFC. So I think I'll be okay. Well, okay, that's an understandable position. But then you look at who they matched him up against. Fames, as they refer to him, is a musician. I say with air quotes for those of you who are listening, because even that term is being very generous for describing what he does.
He's more like a SoundCloud rapper. Let's be real.
He's kind of a soundbite creator, because nothing that he does would be really a song. Like more of like sound clips, like the stuff that you would put over a reel on Instagram, because it's going to be 47 seconds of
or TikTok
and then flip. Yeah, exactly. Like 50 seconds of what the fuck am I watching? And then you flip away and, it's gone from your head. That's the kind of shit that he does. So it wasn't really a terrifying matchup to begin with. But then to make it just icing on top of the cake before we even got to the fight, Fames missed weight by 3.5 fucking pounds. So there's that to show you how professional this event is cracking off. But to be fair, Mendes came out and was just putting fucking pressure on Fames from the get-go. I'm honestly kind of surprised it went as long as it did. But what did they call it? Minute 34 into the 4th round, after Mendes had already dropped Fames 4 times, I believe, in the last 2 rounds. He dropped him twice in the 3rd and then once in the 4th, and then the second time he dropped him in the 4th. the referee didn't even start counting. He just threw his hands up and said, no. Like, A for effort for trying to be fucking tough, but you're getting the shit beat out of you, and nobody wants to see that happen anymore. So props to that referee for having a brain and stopping that fucking fight. But realistically, you could see even coming out in round 4 in 2-minute rounds, Mendes was starting to fade. And it wasn't that he was doing a whole lot of work and had worn himself out. He just was starting to fade. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him going forward as well. So as if that wasn't enough of a freak show. What originally started as the main event and then got bumped to the co-main event. Aluminum Mike Perry versus Julian Let Me Bang Bro Lane. I will give them this. That might have been the single bloodiest first round I've ever seen in BKFC, and they've had some slobber knockers. But within 45 seconds to a minute of the very, very first round of this fight, both of them had been cut wide open and were just dripping blood. Lane had blood running down his forehead. Perry had a split on his lip where he literally just kept turning and spraying blood, like a la Robbie Lawler versus fucking Rory McDonald. Like, there's some pretty good pictures of it out there of him just like in the fight turning and going wah, and like cartoonishly spraying a cloud of fucking mist blood and going right back into the fucking fight, because Perry's another one of those that's too dumb to be fucking stopped unless you put him to sleep. Like,
too crazy to care.
Yeah, like too tough for his own good for sure. Like, pain don't hurt. You can get through pain. Like,
yeah, I almost didn't know that this was let me bang bro until I saw his fucking tribal on his shoulders. I almost did not fucking recognize his face till I saw the tribal on his fucking shoulder. And I'm sitting here watching this and I'm like, oh shit, that's let me bang. And then like 2 minutes later, they fucking said something about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that is, huh?
Yeah, it was a slobber knocker. Lane throws big swooping shots. Perry throws big swooping shots, but he's better at countering. It was not a pretty fight, but it was a hell of a slobber knocker. A 5-round fucking banger, and that both of them ended up bloody. Perry ended up all kinds of fucking swollen and shit. And then at the end, it was like watching two fucking play schoolers on the playground after you break up the fight. Like, you should have said that stuff about me at the press conference. I was selling the fight. It wasn't cool. I wasn't being mean. But it still wasn't cool. And they both just kind of like stared at the floor for a second and then walked away. Okay, Feldman. That's your genius plan. Okay. Well, after that, we got the late addition to the card, the actual other title fight on the card. Why they didn't put the two title fights as the main and co-main, I don't fucking get it, but whatever. So Luis Palomino versus Martin Brown for the 155-pound belt. Basically, Martin Brown spent the majority of that fight literally bouncing like a crackhead, like not running, not like staying active, just like jittery, like bouncing around like a legit fucking crackhead. Palomino didn't really have to do too much. Was really able to manage the distance very well and crack Brown every time he came in fucking close for it. I agree. I don't think Chad Mendes deserves to get a fucking shot at the belt off of fucking beating a dude who missed weight in his debut fight. Chad needs to fight somebody notable. But I do think that it would be cool to see Palomino get to fight for that 165 belt and try and be the first double champ in BKFC. And then after that, if Mendes beats somebody and he's ready for the 55, let him come back and defend. But I think at this point, I think some double championship might be on the horizon for BKFC, and Palomino very well could be their first one. That being said, we will jump from there back over to last night's UFC Vegas 48, Walker versus Hill. We said it Thursday, and I stand by it, especially after having seen all three of the events now. None of the three major cards that went on last night were worth a shit individually. All three of them had a couple of fights here and there that were good, but none of them were good as a whole. You could almost take all of the good fights from all three of the major cards and make most of a full regular card. You still be shy a couple of prelim fights, but there were easily 3-1 or better shit fights to good ones over the weekend on all three of these cards. The UFC was no exception there. That being said, when we get over to the UFC, the opening couple fights just really kind of fucking sucked. You get to the first stoppage fight, Anheliger versus Strader. Anheliger is a former hockey player who decided he wanted to do MMA. He was getting the shit beat out of him by a dude with a horrible mustache, and then turned around and landed a crazy fucking shot to knock the dude out.
Now, I do have to give credit where credit is due real quick. That debut, the opening fight for the card was a debut fighter, Perrin. He did not do near as bad as I thought he would.
No, and to be fair, we did mention this on Thursday. Perrin actually stepped in on 4 days or 5 days notice for Khalid Taha, who had undisclosed circumstances, I say with air quotes, that took him out of the fight week of, and Perrin stepped in on short notice to make his debut. Not the worst fight in the world by any stretch of the imagination, especially for a guy making his debut. Just in this situation, maybe not the fight to open the card with.
Yeah, but still, credit's due. Kid put in work. Put in work. Debut fight. He kept up with fucking Bautista, who is pretty fucking known for putting some heavy pressure on.
Yeah.
That kid kept his fucking cool. Debut fight, big lights under a fucking big banner. That kid fucking put in work, and he did damn good. Regardless of him getting an L for that kid has some heart.
Yeah, no, I this is another one of those situations where I don't even really think that L makes that big of a difference.
No, not
I don't
at all.
really think that L is going to be that negative on him, considering, like I said, 4 days notice and then went the distance with a little dynamo like Mario Batista. Like, I don't think that L is a bad debut, to say the least. It just wasn't the most exciting fight that they could have used to open the card with, given what we had on the roster.
Yeah. I fucking absolutely agree. But I just had to give credit where credit is due there, because that kid was honestly kind of surprising with some of his some of his slips that he did. He's feisty. Yeah. And he's pretty fucking quick for being being so young into fighting.
Right.
Just so green. He's got a little bit of a decent amount of fight IQ in his head already for being so green into combat sports.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, to be fair, despite not putting on the most entertaining fight of the evening, Jonathan Pierce may have given one of the best post-fight interviews of the evening. When asked, who do you want to fight next? Without missing a fucking beat, he responded, hang on, let me ask my coach, and literally walked away over to his coach and went, who do we want to fight next? Bravo, sir. Bravo. That is the literal epitome of don't ask me, I just fight.
That fight was honestly pretty much a back and forth fucking
It
ground
really was.
grind. That was honestly not super exciting for the common watcher, but for people like me, and I know for people like you, Meter, the people that thoroughly enjoy watching the different levels of the game, dropping level to the ground and just consistent, just reversal to reversal to reversal to reversal. That fight was honestly pretty fucking impressive.
I think we were talking about it, Galti and I were talking about it in the moment. It reminded me of the MMA equivalent of a tennis match.
Yeah,
it was constant and quick, just back and forth, leads here, leads there, leads here, leads there, and just that quick was changing back and forth. So that was super fucking impressive. Just the constant give and take of that one. That one is honestly super impressive of a ground game practitioner, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wrestler style. That was honestly a pretty fucking impressive for more of the ground game heavy fans. Right. That was pretty impressive. Well, and so from there, and I said it Thursday, and I stand by it having watched the card now. The ladies really did put on some of the best fights on the prelims. There was 2 ladies fights, and they were 2 of the best fights on the whole goddamn card.
Undeniably.
Belbita versus DePaula was fucking awesome. Those ladies were going back and fucking. You want to talk about a tennis match in MMA?
I have to cut you off. I cannot remember his name, mostly because I'm slightly fucking intoxicated right now. Not Cruz, but the guy that was sitting on the other side of Cruz, the bald guy. Who's his name? What's his name?
John Anik.
John Anik. It's Belbita, not Belzita. You dumb bitch.
He butchered her name through the whole goddamn fight. I swear to God, at one point he called her Velveeta.
And it's DePaulo, not DePaula.
Yeah. Like it was
that was infuriating.
Yeah. It was exceptionally bad. But that being said, those ladies came out and went to fucking war with a hard ass back and forth fucking fight. It was early contender for fight of the night, in my opinion, right away. Excuse me. Very, very narrow L for Delbita. But that's, again, not one of those L's that I would in the least bit be ashamed about, because if you go back and watch that fucking fight,
that
DePaula,
was
like razor thin got the advantage, and it was negotiable. If it would have been another, that's one of those fights where had there been 15 more seconds in the fight, the decision might have went the other way, and it would have been understandable. So it was close, but my honest opinion is that was by far one of the most impressive, just back and forth fucking round to round fucking grinds, because they were just going back and forth fucking Belvita or Belcita, as Anik was calling her, was in fucking D Paulo was just going back and forth fucking round to round, just grinding it the fuck out. Yeah,
my only big takeaway is both those ladies, y'all both performed fucking phenomenally. Belbita, go back to boxing training. Defense. Clean up your defense a little bit. Stop eating unnecessary shots. Get a little bit snappier. Learn the jab. DePaulo was wrecking your life with that fucking right jab. Train the jab a little bit.
The shit out of her, yeah.
Train the jab a little bit. You have Belbita. You have phenomenal body work. You're fucking 1-2 fucking left right combo to the body, and then change up instantly to a 1-2 to the top. That was textbook right there. You need to really fucking get the boxing in, get a little bit sharper, get a little bit cleaner, and you could honestly be a fucking top contender. The same goes for fucking DiPaula. Same thing with her. If she just cleans her boxing up a little bit, strength on her defense, really, really stick with the jabs, but she needs to get more into the hooks, the body shots, the uppercuts. DiPaula could do the same exact fucking thing. She could be a real fucking heavy contender in that weight division. Both of them really can if they just sharpen up their defense and their offense on the feet. They can run through that weight division like nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see both of those get matched up going forward.
Oh fuck yes, it will. They both did a fucking spectacular fucking job in that match.
Hell yeah. From there, we got to see the retirement fight, maybe,
Potentially.
of Chaz Skelly versus Mark Striegel. Mark Striegel came out like a fucking wild man in round one. He looked like he was on a mission to send fucking Skelly home with an L. And for whatever reason, it was almost the theme of the evening. Could not keep that same energy when round two came around. Round two came around and Skelly was like, nah, dude. Nah, that's
breathing,
not how we're ending this.
Breathing real hard in the corner.
Yeah. Came out and just put Striegel to fucking bed. Clean shot, laid him flat on the fucking ground. He turtled right the fuck up, and he was barely able to keep his hands over his face while waiting for the fucking referee to step in and save him. Good job by Chaz Skelly. This is one of those weird situations where I don't think because you got a W, it means you should keep doing this. I agree. He's been doing this for a long time. Go out with the W. Hang your hat on a fucking high note. Don't come back and get your ass kicked and then get retired on a loss and depressed and fucking just take the W. Go out on the high note. Let it go.
Yeah, and the pre-fight. Fuck this. Here's what I'm doing. I'm working this roofing company. So anybody that really needs a new roof, here's my company name. I can give you a new roof. I'm mad at that.
No, hell no.
No,
Save your brain cells, man. Save your fucking brain cells.
Yeah, and the IQ to realize that your body cannot physically continue doing this path, so you want to do something else with your life and save the bit of your body that you have left. Fucking hats off to you for recognizing that and understanding that.
Absolutely. Ain't nobody gonna be mad at you for retiring while you can still speak in full sentences.
Oh fuck yeah.
This is the combat sports world. If you can still articulate
after a couple of years, yeah,
nobody's mad at you for deciding that this is the point where your brain health is worth more than your financial health, but it might change.
Yeah. My only thing to say for Striegel is during that fight, they were both saying, everybody on the commentator booth was saying that both of them really enjoy fighting in the clinch, especially against the cage. Hey, okay, to say it for Mark Striegel, your body size and the shape of your body doesn't physically allow you to do that with giant fucking shoulders and traps. It doesn't let your arm to get where you need it to go, especially whenever you're in the clinch on the cage, because you're limited to mobility to go like this, especially really hard and really quick. Your big muscles don't let you do that.
No,
just gonna throw that out there.
Actually, more of a problem than a benefit in most situations, realistically.
Yeah, typically, you want just a little bit of distance. You don't want to be super up close because the biomechanics of the human body, whenever you have a massive muscle that's sticking out like this, it doesn't let you move your arm like that. It's a limitation.
Yeah, it was not good for Striegel.
Yeah.
That being said, the other ladies' fight of the card followed that, and again, one of the better fights of the whole goddamn card, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I did not realize Egger had that level of ground game. I knew that she was very well rounded. We'd seen some good instances of her using all of her tool set in her previous fights, but I did not realize that she was that fucking dominant on the ground, because when she got JRC to the ground, she basically had her choice of several different submissions that she had wrapped up all at once that quick when they were on the ground. And she basically went through the options of which one is going to work best for her before she ended up on that armbar from the fucking triangle. Just absolutely fucking dominant from the second that fight touched the ground. It was all her fucking world with no doubt whatsoever.
So, as I like to call this, Edgar versus the second Saturday Night SoundCloud rapper with the tattoos that Clark has, because those are SoundCloud rapper tattoos.
It's girl Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't even say that. I'd say
literally that's why Sean O'Malley is Sean O'Malley. She talked about it in the pre-fight. When he
I
first
wouldn't
moved to
even.
Vegas, she was his Vegas tour guide. And literally the next week, he started getting face tattoos and doing all the colors and the whole
I wouldn't.
She is girl Sean O'Malley. That's where
I wouldn't even say that. She's not even near the soup can that Sean O'Malley is. She's worse than him.
Yeah, I could say that.
But I love in the moment. Arms right here. That's in tight. The second it straightens, there's no give it a second. Just that's tight. The commentator booth, that's in tight as the arm is at a 90-degree angle.
Still bent, yeah.
And then it straightens. And before it gets all the way, you see the arm coming up to tap the thigh. You aren't even in a submission yet. You're in a submission attempt. You still have time to grab the arm and pull it back down just real quick. There was no even fight. You were just done. You just gave the fuck up. Why are you in the UFC if you were just giving up? You gotta figure something out or go get more face tats, bitch. Jesus. Fuck.
She got worked real goddamn quick, real efficiently.
Yeah.
And to be fair, she did not appear to have very much decision in that situation once Edgar got a hold of her. Basically, she had the option of, do I get hurt? Do I go to sleep? Tap? Or do I tap? Yeah. Because at one point, Edgar had her in a choke and just wasn't sure if she wanted to commit to that or lock in more and pull on the arm. She rolled back and obviously went after the arm as cased by the finish here, but she could have finished JRC, and like I said, any one of a couple different ways and had her options before her splayed out. This is another one. I'm very, very curious to see what they do with Stephanie Egger going forward.
Yeah, I can firmly agree with that one.
That's gonna be fun to watch matchup. Now, talk about a fucking show stealer. Gabrielle Benitez versus David Onama. Holy shit. In the first, I think it was minute and a half-ish of the fight, Benitez lands just a fucking textbook, perfect, clear fucking shot. What initially in the moment people thought was an eye poke because of the way Onama immediately grabbed his face and started wiping his eye. When they went back and played it back, he took a crystal clear punch directly to the orbital.
Eye.
And it looked like it very well might have fractured his orbital in the moment. You could see it wrinkle his face on the slow-mo shot of him getting fucking punched. Took him a minute to recover from that, understandably, and then turn around and was like, you know what? No. Good night. And fucking face planted Benitez.
That wasn't a good night. That was a good night.
Yeah.
Because he hit him like 9 times out on his fucking feet.
Yeah. Onama just absolutely fucking leveled Benitez. And to do that after getting honestly genuinely fucking hurt like that. Good in-fight fucking focus, man. Good in-fight focus.
that fight, the first, I'll say 2.5 minutes was kind of up in the air because both those men were going give and take. Benitez was way too comfortable, way too close with a big, strong man like Onama.
Fuck
He
yes,
was way too comfortable. With a big body like that, you do not want to be that fucking close.
Yeah, you don't want to get comfortable in range with a Dorito-shaped motherfucker, man. That generally doesn't end well. Case in point.
But then right around minute 3, Benitez has about 45 seconds to where he puts in some solid work.
Yep.
Some real solid work. And then around the 46th second, it turns, and then Onama goes, oh man, my eye feels a whole lot fucking better. And then turns it around to just wreck shit for a minute and a half almost.
Yep.
And he hurt Benitez with 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the good night.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. You can almost see in the fight the moment he's like, my eye's okay. My eye is okay. You're fucked. And then he literally just turns it up to fucking 11 and cranks the knob off and throws it at him.
Yeah, he Onama cranks it up for about 37 seconds. And then it was just done.
Yeah, that's all he needed.
Yeah, pretty fucking much.
Yeah, so
Benitez, they were fucking just counting his praises about how he can get in so close, do dirty boxing shots to the body, and then immediately throw shots up top to the head, which that's fine and fucking dandy, but you do not want to do that with a big, strong man. As Meter said, a Dorito-shaped motherfucker or an ice cream cone-shaped motherfucker. You do not want to do that because all you're going to get is just one hook and you are dead.
Yeah, as proven by David Onama last night.
Yeah, that was a pretty nasty 5 seconds of just unanswered hooks to Benavidez falling over. Just eyes open, nobody home.
No response whatsoever. So that'll bring us into the main card, which, like we talked about on Thursday, was not even an all solid fight main card either. But it did open up pretty interesting. Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. Buckley brought fucking Dust Commander Dale Brown into his corner with him, which still befuddles the shit out of me. But at one point, Buckley really started to look like he was just slowing down and running out of steam, and Al-Hassan really started to just pour it on him. He almost gave it away. They ended up calling it by split decision for Buckley. It was that damn close. Good fucking fight. I do agree Buckley won it, but I agree with it being a split. It was razor fucking thin. It was that close, and it kind of felt like Buckley was fucking around a little bit more than he should have been. Like, he wasn't taking the fight as seriously as he generally does. And it just didn't seem like he was as focused as he should have been. Like, he could have had that fight. He could have easily won that fight. Maybe even finished that fight, but he just seemed a little distracted. I don't know. I don't want to directly say it was Dust Dickhead in the fucking corner, but
it seemed like he was trying to style on Al-Hassan. That's what it seemed like, at least to me personally. My big thing is Al-Hassan kicked the fuck out of some legs. Do you see those thighs?
Yeah.
You saw those thighs.
Yeah.
Those are big thighs.
I was just say, talk about futile efforts.
Now, he's tried it a couple times. Do you know what thighs like that don't let you do? Kind of like with Striegel, those thighs don't let you get much above 90 degrees.
Right.
He went for a couple head kicks. Your legs don't let you do that. with the sheer mass of 100 pounds per thigh, 90% of my body weight, just throw that out there. 90% of my body weight is in a thigh.
Right.
You just stick with the leg kicks, and he was throwing muted leg kicks, calf kicks, which hurt that much more, which are glorious. But you stick with the fucking leg kicks, get the boxing under wraps, and you'd be kind of a showstopper, because he was kicking Buckley's legs out underneath him to where Buckley had to catch himself 10 feet on the other side of the fucking octagon. Yep. Because he was getting kicked like 4.5 fucking feet, because those are some thick fucking thighs.
Those are tree trunks. Yeah, for sure.
No, those aren't even tree trunks. Those are like California fucking reds. Those were monster thighs. Those, like, if my body is a slim Coke can, the slim tall ones.
The tall skinnies, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like a fucking 40-ounce Arizona iced tea in a fucking thigh. Dude, I'm surprised the Venom kits fit thighs like that.
Right.
Those are astronomical.
Absolutely. So, moving along from there, for those of you who had any doubt, 1, you're foolish. 2, I can describe this fight in 3 words. Jim fucking Miller. You can doubt him all you want, but the man gives results. 39th fucking fight in the
tied
UFC.
with Cowboy.
Tied with Cowboy now. Dude, they keep throwing prospects and keep throwing these new guys like they expect Jim to flop, and he just keeps sending these fucking new guys home on their back. Didn't even take him 2 fucking minutes to lay this poor fucking new kid out fucking on his ass. Right hook, fucking good night. Beautiful work. Just goddamn beautiful work.
It was honestly really nice from both of them, because both of them were playing the strengths.
Yeah.
One was orthodox, one was southpaw. So southpaw has the right, orthodox has their right inside the leg. They were both just making what worked work. But fucking Jim Miller with the fucking right hook, snappy right hook, as Mata was fucking letting go of a right straight jab.
Yep.
But just Miller cracked him.
Yep.
Cracked him, because he just faded off to the right real quick and just let that right hook go. That was, as we say in the military, and A10 goes what? A10 goes brrr, because goddamn,
when that blitz comes through, it's too late.
That was honestly nice on both ends of it, because both of them saw and understood what was going to work, and both of them used what was there for them. Because being an orthodox versus southpaw, neither of you have lefts, because the other one is going to dip out of the way of a left every single time.
Yeah.
Every time. Your rights and your inside legs are your weapons, because it's going to be real hard to fucking move your body that much that quick. Both of them were real working back and forth with the very few weapons they had. That was a chess match, but just Jim Miller is a fucking grand master at chess, and he just made it work. My only thing, Jim Miller, pre-fight or pre-fight, post-fight, after the fight. I'm
right.
Stupid. Alcohol. Don't judge me. After the fact, he said, I think that fight went a little bit long.
Yep.
About 60% of the shots that he threw when Mata was on the ground all hit forearm. I understand heat of the moment. You think all your shots are getting through the forearms. All your 80% of your shots hit forearms. Don't talk shit about refs. You're great at what you do, Jim.
No, he did get several through. They did show it, and if you watch the replay, he cracked Moto with easily 4 or 5 shots that kid didn't need to take, that he was already turtled up, and the fight could have easily been, should have been stopped. I agree with him 100%.
Oh yeah, but that was 1 shot, two shots, 3. That kid was moving his arms like a motherfucker. You're not getting a shot. You're getting a shot, block, shot, block, block.
Yeah, but that was also at the point where the kid was already turtled up, though, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but still.
I don't know. But that'll bring us to the fucking hideous walrus slap fight that I fucking called on Thursday was going to be a hideous walrus slap fight. Guess what? It was a hideous walrus slap fight. Heavyweights with no fucking business being on a fucking main card, let alone that close to the fucking main event, showed exactly why they had no business being on the main card, let alone that close to the fucking main event. It was fucking horrible. Parker Porter did get the fucking W, but that's nothing to fucking brag about. That's nothing to hang your hat on. We knew coming in, Budo didn't really have a whole lot of fucking weapons to threaten him, and he proved us right.
My favorite thing is just a big man changing levels.
When they do it right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he got a couple of solid takedowns in there, like real clean, solid takedowns. But big men changing levels, like your light heavies and your heavyweights. Remember, they change levels. That's impressive because none of those motherfuckers do that shit anymore. Like you have like a small handful of your light heavies and your heavyweights that go out of their way to change level.
Right.
That's about it. Whenever they do, especially heavyweights, that's like kind of special because they just don't do it anymore. It's kind of sad.
When it's full size dudes that do it.
Yeah, it's just sad because like Brock Lesnar days, that man was taking a motherfucker to the ground every 5 seconds.
Right.
But like nowadays, it's fucking Rosenstruik kickboxer can split a guy's fucking mouth open with one right hook. Fucking Gon and Ganu, fucking my balls is hot. Like you don't see level changes in heavyweight near what you did 4 years ago, 5 years ago, even.
I agree.
Like that just seeing a small level change in heavyweights, that gets me slightly excited. That takes me back to whenever like UFC was booming in the fucking heyday, whenever it first started to take off. That gets me excited. That gets me kind of nostalgic. And then I go watch like a Brock Lesnar fight or just shit like that. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz 17 type shit. Like that stuff makes me get a little bit nostalgic. Now let's get on to Kyle Dawkis and Jamie Pickett. Yes.
Right.
God damn.
Now, we talked about this a little bit on Thursday. This is not the more exciting of the Dawkis brothers. However, last night, that man showed up to do fucking work. Jamie Pickett came and decided that he was going to try to box a wrestler. I'm not sure if Jamie Pickett's corner did any video work, any research on Kyle Dawkis, but it sure didn't seem like he did a whole lot of wrestling defense training, any grappling defense training, because Dawkis had almost no trouble whatsoever getting Pickett to the ground and then basically just having his way with him. It was more of it seemed more like Dawkis was struggling to remember the right procedures, the right steps to sink the submission in, than it was Pickett was able to actually defend it once he was starting to really put the screws in. Credit to Dawkis for getting him to submit when he didn't even have it in properly. He caught Pickett literally with his tongue between his teeth and squeezed it to such a degree. Pickett thought he was going to bite his own fucking tongue off, and he got him to tap at 4:59. As the bell sounded, Pickett was already starting to tap.
My favorite thing, the tap, the bell rings, Dawkis whips around. That counted as the tap?
He turned around and went, he tapped. You saw that. He literally rolled over and looked right up at the referee and said, "You saw him, he tapped."
And they played it back. It was a little bit over a second when that first hand came up. Boom, boom,
Bing,
bell.
bing. Yep.
Bell. That was so fucking close.
Yeah.
But
props to Dawkins for pulling it off at the literal last second possible.
and then post fight, I shout out to Dawkins for shouting out his brother whenever Felder asked him, you took no damage in this match. When can we see you back in here? My brother fights in March, so anytime after that.
Right.
I want to see my brother. I want to be there for him.
Be there for my brother. That's right.
Shout out for fucking a little bit of family.
Yep.
Right there. That's some love. I can respect that stuff. I can fucking respect that.
To be fair, he face planted immediately after saying such a great and fucking noble statement. Yeah. But he started off his post fight real strong.
Oh yeah.
Of course, then he trips right over his dick and calls Tony Ferguson the Darce Knight and says that he wants to challenge him because he thinks he's got a better Darce than Tony. And it's just like,
yeah, I mean, like give it like 3 more fights and then call it Tony Ferguson. But like that was stupid.
Get 3 more Darces and then challenge the guy that's known for Darces. That's one, Kyle. That's one.
That wasn't even a full blown Darce.
Right. I was going to say, and it wasn't even a real Darce. It was basically an inverted neck crank.
It was a neck crank blood choke kind of combo.
Yeah, because he didn't have it set right. So it wasn't even an actual official Darce. And then he's going to use that to call out the dude who's actually famous for doing legitimate Darce on some of the best of the best. Like, slow your roll, Junior.
Yeah, because the angle that you had him at, you couldn't do a Darce because your body would be in the fence.
You physically didn't have the space to get to that.
Yeah, but it was like a modified anaconda blood choke.
Yeah, kind of. But that will bring us to probably the biggest surprise of the entire evening. I won't say the best moment. I will say the biggest surprise of the evening, because we talked about it a little bit on Thursday. This coming in, Johnny Walker versus Jamal Hill was one of those coin flip fights. Realistically, if Walker showed up sloppy, it was Hill's fight to take. If Walker showed up on point and we got to see the same Jamal Hill we did against Paul Craig, it was pretty much Johnny Walker's money in the fucking bank. What I don't think anyone thought we were going to see is Jamal Hill land one of the most beautiful shots he's ever thrown, at least in the UFC, and then Johnny Walker give a literal cartoonish knockout fall. That was one of those off the fence and then fell into it.
That was one of those things. Do you remember the little toys when you were younger that there were the strings that you push the button on the bottom and they fall forward the limp, and then you let go of the bottom and they spring back up?
Yeah,
that was kind of Johnny Walker.
Yeah, it was.
Went forward and then just fell straight backwards.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I am, but I'm not trying to be. I genuinely thought he was playing. I thought he was clowning in the moment until Hill lands the follow-up shot when Johnny Walker actually hits the ground and fucking levels Johnny Walker's face, and you see him go completely unconscious and start fucking twitching a little bit, staring at the fucking ceiling lights. He bounced in such a weird manner that even the commentators weren't sure if he was out. They weren't sure what the fuck was happening until he hit the ground and got leveled. Just I think the best way to put this is I hope we can see this kind of performance consistently from Jamal Hill because we haven't. We know he's capable of it now, but we haven't seen even a fraction of that, what we saw last night, in any of his other fights. So if that's in there and he can tap into that and hang on to it and do that consistently, he can start making a name for himself. But if he goes right back to what we saw against Paul Craig, a dude who's easily run over and taken advantage of, that's going to mean absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things, and it's going to leave you at the bottom of the stack.
Dawkis, he's had some moments to where he's putting in fucking work, but that Paul Craig fight kind of erased everything that he put in his prior fights.
It's extra funny because Paul Craig is a badass and he does that to everybody. But the way that Paul Craig got him in that kind of took all the steam out of his fucking sail.
Oh yeah. Because he looked like he had no fucking clue what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was just fucking along for the ride and then along for a fucking nap.
Yep.
But that honestly was super fucking out of nowhere because my thought process was kind of the same way. Looking at it was kind of a 50-50 coin flip. If Walker isn't cocky and trying to show off and trying to get a highlight reel,
yep,
then he has the potential of getting the W. But if he is trying to be cocky and get the highlight reel, which he was trying to do on Saturday, Hill was going to walk away with it. I did not think that it would come out with a fucking overhand right to the temple that shut Walker down.
Oh, yeah, completely.
I did not see that one even remotely fucking happening because that was a perfect land directly on the fucking temple.
Yes.
And it wasn't even a solid fucking connection. That was a glancing fucking hit. That just hit him just right to shut everything the fuck off. That was fucking reaction of knockout. Just put that on fucking highlights for the next 10 fucking years because
I was gonna say that's gonna get blasted on ESPN.
That was literally that was one of those toys where you have it and you press the button on the bottom and they fall forward and then you let it go and they spring back up. That's exactly what the fuck that was. And I am not as old as you, and you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
I resent that.
You know what I'm talking about, damn it.
That's right.
They got the little, just they're all plastic, but they have joints and they're little strings,
right,
keeping them all together. You know what I'm talking about, damn it.
Yep.
Everybody watching this knows what I'm talking about because everybody watching this is 10 years older than me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, at least, if not 9. Fuck.
Yeah, about right. But
I'll get it.
The worst part, I think, about the whole shenaniganry, fucking misfit card concoction of Saturday, in my opinion, was that we had, I think it was 3 weeks in a row, acceptable, understandable, decent UFC bonuses. And then fucking last night happens and they threw it all out the goddamn window again. They went back to that stupid fucking 4 performance of the night, no fight of the night bonus bullshit for last night. Performance of the nights went to Onama, understandable. Dawkis, Egger, understandable.
Oh yeah.
And Hill, understandable.
Yeah.
I still honestly think that could have been Egger and Hill, or even Onama and Hill, and then a fight of the night. But That's not what they wanted to do, because that
I would have even done Edgar Hill Onama
right, and then a
between knockout submission fight.
Right.
I would have done that because Edgar put in fucking work, and that was just perfection incarnate in a match. Done. Onama turned it the fuck up, and Hill, that was,
you got to give him something for that, for sure.
That was, yeah. He took no fucking damage in that whatsoever. He just got a clean, crisp, over the top right hook straight to the fucking temple that did a very hilarious fucking knockout.
Yep.
Follow it up by an attempt for a left miss, so I'm gonna hit you with the fucking right. That was all three of those would be my picks.
Yeah, that would all have made sense, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But that being said, that's the recaps we have got for you for this weekend. That is all the fun that went down. Tune in this coming up Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Central Time ish for the latest episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, where we will be talking about the formerly interesting fight, now extremely interesting fight coming up this weekend in the form of now Makhachev versus Bobby Green.
Yeah, and the most interesting thing about that is you have all three of us here this Thursday for I'm No Joe at 9:30 Central, 10:30 my time. Oh shit. Yeah, dude, I went in the past and the fucking future. What's up?
But that is all we've got for you wonderful folks for this fine episode here. If you appreciate what we do, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed and your notification bell is turned on so you do not miss an episode. All the links to all of the socials are all down in the description. The link for the Discord server has been scrolling across the bottom, where if you ask Dylan, he can verify we do talk shit live during the fights in the Discord server. You can catch it. We're there. The link is also down there for our I'm No Joe subreddit. Come by, drop a meme, talk some shit. We're there. If you appreciate what we do, the best way to help us out, patreon.com/I'm No Joe gives you access to behind the scenes, unaired and literally unairable footage that we just simply cannot show the average folks. So we do appreciate that. It makes it a little bit easier to do what we do. If you like what we're doing, make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you don't like what we're doing, first and foremost, why the fuck are you still here this deep into a podcast you didn't enjoy? Give us a thumbs down. We're not going to dispute it, and move the fuck along. That being said, we're going to call it all for this particular episode. So remember, boys and girls, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything. Bye.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times.